Okay guys, today we're finally going to factor the form where the a isn't 1. Okay? So far we're kind of limited in terms of factoring. We had to make sure that the a was 1. Well, what if a is not 1? You know what I mean? What are we going to do? So that's what we're going to learn today. So before I begin, let's review a little bit. So you guys remember, this is what we've been doing, right? If a was 1, so we learned last time that if a is 1, like 1x squared plus bx plus c, if this is factorable, what does it look like when you factor this? Yeah. X plus some number times another x plus some number, because only way to get 1x squared is x times x, right? You guys remember this? So I just use letter D and E because we don't know what those numbers are. Why do I have to say if this can be factored? Yeah.
Because it could be a prime.
Yeah, it could be that the trinomial, not every trinomial is factorable. So that's why I'm saying if this is factorable, right? You guys remember that? Okay, what about then, now what if I have, what do you think, if I have a, instead of 1, if I have ax squared plus bx plus c, if this is factorable, again, some of these are factorable, some of them are not. So if this trinomial is factorable, so where a isn't 1 anymore, okay, what do you think this will look like? One person knows? Yeah, Ali, what do you think?
Parentheses ax plus b, another parentheses ax plus e.
Do they have to have the same a's there?
No.
No. Okay, so you're right. It won't be a. I used f and h. Is that? Whoops! I erased something got erased. So yeah, you're right. So you don't want to use letter a because we already used a. It doesn't have to be the same number, does it? So some f and h. I use f and h. Right? It's got to be some number. Of course, f times h has to be a. You know what I'm talking about? So it's going to be some number x plus g plus some number x plus I. So this case, now how is this different? Last time we had to look for these D and E last time, right? That's all we had to look for. Guess what? Now we have to look for, how many numbers do we have to look for? 3? 4. We need to look for F, H, G, and I. That's the only difference. Does that make sense? So that's how we factor this trinomial, where A isn't 1 anymore. We just have to remember that, there's going to be some number that we have to put there. Okay, here's what I mean by this. Anybody need more time to write? Or are we good? Are we good? Okay, so let's take example 1. Let me erase that. Oops. Okay, so example 1. How about we start off with something straightforward. 2x squared plus 13x minus 24. Okay. Let's say that I have this. Okay. So now look, my coefficient isn't 1 anymore. So here, how many ways are there to get? So it's going to look something like this, right? Something times something. This time we're kind of lucky because it's 2x squared. How many ways are there to get 2x squared when you multiply together? There's what? 1? What's the possible way to get 2x squared? 1 times 2, or 1x times 2x, right? Does that make sense? Would you all agree? Yeah. Okay. So you know how we do that for the last, like we were doing that for 24, but we do that for the now first number too. Does that make sense? So I write 1x and 2x over here. Does that make sense? Isn't that the only way to get 2x squared? Actually, not really. What if I do? There's another case. Rachel, do you see another case? Is that the only way to get 2x squared when you multiply two things together? Yeah, you could have negative x times negative 2x, but we won't worry about these. So when they're both negative, for the first number, we won't have to worry about it. And we'll explain why that in a minute. Does anybody already see why we don't have to worry about negative x and negative 2x right now? No? Okay, we'll discuss. Okay, short answer is because you know the number that we'll be choosing for negative 24? We'll be switching which one, we'll be choosing one of them to be negative or the other to be negative and positive and so forth. So we'll be choosing it, the negative being negative here for these numbers. Not, so you don't have to worry about for the first number. Does that make sense? Because to get negative 24, there are many different ways, right? So as we assign one of them to be negative, the other to be positive, right? We could kind of play with that so that we don't have to worry about the first number. Does that make sense? It'll make more sense as we do these. Okay, so how many ways are there to get 24? 1 and negative 24. All right, guys? What else? That's the easiest one. 3. 3. Okay, what about 2? Let's do this in order. 2 and 12, negative 12, right? What else? 3 and negative 8. Are there any others? 4 and negative 6. Are there any others? No. Okay, let me just put them in parentheses. Okay, is this the only case that I could have? Or, since it's negative 24, I could also have what? Negative 1 and 24. Negative 2 and 12. Negative 3 and negative 8. Oh, positive 8. My bad. And then negative 4 and positive 6. Okay. So, let's then take a look at these. Let's try 1 and negative 24. Let me just write 1 negative 24. So, remember how we get the middle term? We do this, right? Okay, it's kind of lagging. Okay, so here I do this and this. Do you think we're gonna get the right middle term when I do this? What's x times negative 24 and then 1 times 2x? Do I get positive 13x? No. So that one doesn't work, does it? Right? So if I try 1 and negative 24, how about then if I try negative 1 and positive 24? Does that work? No. Okay, so then can I cancel these out? Can I cross them out because they don't work? No, not yet. We can't do that yet. We haven't tried another case. Actually, we haven't tried 2 cases for these. Anybody see what I should try? Yeah.
2 and 12.
Oh, no, I'm not. I'm just talking about the ones on top. 1 and 24. I tried 1 and negative 24. I tried negative 1 and 24. Is that the only case? Is that the only? No. This time, because, look, my x is, the first number is x, the other is 2x. Guess what? We have to also try. Anybody see what? Chris? In other words, what should I write here? Try 24 and, well, yeah, let's try negative 24 and 1. The order matter this time. How come the order matters this time? Yeah. Yeah, the first terms are different. Last time, remember when a was 1? It really didn't matter, right? Because you had x and x over here. Now, since we have 2x and x, right, the orders will what? The orders will what? Yeah, orders will matter this time when you try. Do you see how it will be different? So we have to try. So I'm going to write this down here. Must try what? How do I write this? Must try. Must check what? If I'm going to check 1 and negative 24, negative 124, am I done? No, I have to must check what? What else do I have to check? Must check. How do I must check? So if I have to try negative 24, 1 and then positive 24 and 1, right? So must check. How? What's a good way to say that? Must check. Yeah. All what? All possible answers. Yeah. But so are these all possible answers? They're not, right? So they're only half of it, right? Because we have to try different orders. So must check. What's a nice way of must check? If I'm checking 1 and negative 24, negative 1 and 24, I have to also check negative 24 and 1 and positive 24 and 1, right? How would you describe that? What would you write? Yeah, this here. Must check. Opposite order, sure. Opposite order. How about opposite? You want? Is there a better way than opposite? Yeah. What do you think?
Must check
All possible orders. Yeah. Let's check. All is there a better word than? No. Let's check the other. I don't know. No, you don't like that? Okay. What do you guys like? Okay, fine. What did the period one? Okay, let me see. The period one said. Where is it? It doesn't matter what they said, right? But it does matter. They said must check both orders. You guys like that one? Yeah. Okay, fine. Must check both orders. We have to check both orders, right? Because if you forget that, it makes a lot of difference, doesn't it? Because now we have x and 2x, whereas, when the a was 1, there was both x and x. They were same. It didn't really matter which order you put in. Does that make sense? But this time the order makes the big difference. So must check both orders. Okay. All right. So does this work, by the way? Negative 24 and 1? No, there's no way you're gonna get positive 13 out of this, right? You have too much negative. Does that make sense? So then what if let's check then positive 24 and negative 1. Does that work? No, even then, that's too big. There's no way you can. So now we could finally eliminate these. Does that make sense? We tried all 4 possible ways. Doesn't that make sense? All right, so let me erase that. Okay. So let's try 2 and negative 12. 2 and negative 12. Does this work? Does it? You get 12x and then 4x. Do I get 13x? No. So let's try positive 12 and negative 12. Does that work? No, we have, right, 12x and negative 4x. That doesn't give you 13x, does it? Am I done? Try? No, I have to try both orders. So which one? 12 and negative 12 and 2. Does this work? What do I get here? X times 2 is 2x, and I get negative 22. That's too much negative, right? That doesn't work. You see what I'm talking about? What about positive 12 and negative 2? Does that work? No, that's 24 minus 2. Does that work? No. So now could we cancel these out? We tried all of them, right? All right. So do you see what I'm doing? You do them kind of systematically this way. Otherwise, why am I not just kind of randomly choosing these? Because sometimes you forget, Okay, so should I try 3 and 8? Does this work? No, right? We get 6x and 8x. Wait. Is that close enough? No. Does that work? No. Okay, what about negative 3 and positive 8? Does that work? Does it? No. There's no way. Okay, so that doesn't work. Am I done? No, I gotta try then. Negative 8 and positive 3. Does this work?
No.
6? No? This one's really close though.
Yeah.
Right? Why, Austin?
You just have to switch the negative.
Yeah, because I get, what's 2 times negative 8? That's negative 16 plus 3. I get, instead of positive 13, I get negative 13. I could fix that. How do I do that? You make this one positive, the other one negative, because that's what we're going to try anyway. So we found our number that works. Yes? So let's check, double check. So we get here, we get 2x squared plus here, what's that? Negative 3x, we already checked this one, but here plus, what's this? 16x plus negative 24. Do I get 3 checks? Here, what's this? 13x? Yeah, they all check out. What's the answer? Eddie?
X plus 8 and 2x negative 3.
Yeah. And we just checked it, so it comes out this way, right? Any question? Do you see the process in which, right, you choose which pairs work? Right? Do you think you have to check both orders? Yes? Yeah, if you don't, then you may miss that one. Okay, then it's not good. Okay, does that make sense? Do I even need to check the other ones? No, because once you find the one that works, there's only one answer that works. There isn't any other. Okay? Do you guys get the idea? Do you see how it's very similar to what we did before? Yes? How do we feel about this? Is this okay? Yeah. Actually, yeah, it looks very long in the very beginning, but as you do this more of these, it'll come a lot better. Okay, so it'll get a lot better. Example 2. Let's try example 2. Hopefully you guys get the idea. Example 2, we got 5y. Do I have to use x every time, by the way? No, I can use any letters I want.